Today, my topic is my favorite teacher. A teacher is the one who is known as base of our future. Or we can say, teacher is the one who shows us the path of life. The best teacher I've ever had is my cram school English teacher, Mr. Sun, because he knows exactly how to appreciate and utilize my nature initiative and enthusiasm. When I first began my English learning, I was too young and lacked confidence and motivation. After I got several zeros of my English quizzes, my mom decided to improve my English. She took me to see Mr. Sun. I was very nervous when I first saw him because he looked so scary that I could hardly say a single word. However, after I read a story for him, he seemed so surprised and told me, "Your English potential is much more powerful than we can imagine." This encouraging advice actually did change my life a lot later. And ever since then, I love going to school and always look forward to my English class. Mr. Sun is a very understanding teacher. He has a magnificent ability of being able to motivate students. He detects my strengths and weaknesses and suggests me ways to improve my English skills. Most importantly, he rebuilt my confidence to let me know that I could make something special out of myself. Mr. Sun has a special touch that enabled me to overcome my challenges, but also knows where my real limits are. For example, last year, I was standing here on this stage giving a speech to you. I thought I did a unique job, but somehow I failed. He looked at my tearful face and said, "You gotta be brave to face all failures and recover them, for there's nothing you can achieve." I shouted, "You lies! I've done my best! Why I still failed?" "No, you didn't," he said, with a sparkle in his eyes. "The game has just begun. A failure's just a tiny part of a life. Without failures, no one can be perfect. Keep going! Don't stop! Don't stop!" I believe the greatest lesson he gave me was that once you learn how to keep your passion going, life can be much meaningful, and you'll never be the same again. Now, once again, I'm standing here on this stage to challenge it myself. I keep reminding myself, no matter how hard or how bad, I'm going to make it. Yes, I know, I'm going to make it. In the end, I sometimes wondered what I wanted to be or wanted to do with my life. Would I be the writer, a psychologist, or an English teacher? When I saw my friend who wanted to be a teacher talking about what they wanted to do, their faces seemed to light up as they talking about making the world better. Through the year, I've been watching Mr. Sun. I finally realized that a great teacher was not only about making the world better. It is about making his students' world better day by day. I've never told him how much I like him, but at this moment, I want to say I really respect him the most. And I hope to be like him one day and make my students' world the best.
Polly helps a friend. Polly and Mother were on their way to the park. Polly's blue bag was slung over Mother's shoulder. It held many of Polly's favorite things that she used to create wonderful pictures. Polly felt happy. Polly loved the slide. She got a shivery juice each time she stepped along in the center bag. She ran over to the slide. Barbara loved to relax and visit with the other women, should with Miller. They would trade stories about their children. Polly liked it when her mother chatted or visited with the other women. It gave her extra playtime. Polly went on her trip up the stairs and down the slide. On what was maybe a 12th trip, a train saw shot into the air. It was very painful, worm. What's that? She asked, jumping off the end of the slide. Oh, thank you, came the answer over her shoulder. Who said that? Polly asked again. I did. Polly looked around. She was staring right at the slide. Two very, very sad eyes stared back at her. Thank you for getting off, said a giant mouse just below the teary eyes. My back aches really badly today. Polly rubbed her eyes. Excuse me, she said. Did you speak to me? Yes, I did, answered the slide. I'm sorry if I startled you, but I can't take it anymore. Every day, children jump on me and ran down my back. It was fun when I was young, but I grow so old. I love the children, especially you, Polly, but I shudder when they dig their feet into my back. What can I do? Can you help me? The poor slide began to cry loudly. I'm so sorry you're feeling bad. There must be something I can do. Polly thought for a while as she walked to the swing and sat down. Polly saw two working men fixing the benches. One working man nailed a new wooden arm to the bench, and the other took brushes and 2 cans. He dipped his brush in one can of paint and stroked the wooden arm. The gray paint went on the arm and covered the wood. It looked new and shiny. People would have to wait for a set on the bench, she thought. Suddenly, her face lit up. I've got it, she yelled. She grabbed for her blue bag and pulled out a red crayon. She snapped up a yellow sheet of paper. She kneeled and drew something. Her hand worked quickly. After she finished, she said, Don't worry, now you can feel better. And then Polly's mother called that it was time to go home. They passed a bench where a mother sat holding her young son. The little boy seemed very sad. He asked his mother, But Mommy, why can't I go on the slide? Polly heard his mother answer, You must stay off the slide for a few days, honey. The sign says, Wait, pants. Polly smiled her biggest smile and hugged Mother tighter. My topic is, it's mine. In the middle of Rainbow Pond, there was a small island. Smooth pebbles lined its beaches, and it was covered with ferns and leafy weeds. On the island lived 3 quarrelsome frogs named Milton, Rupert, and Lydia. They quarreled from dawn to dusk. Stay off the pond, yelled Milton. The water is mine. Get off the island, shouted Rupert. The earth is mine. The air is mine, screamed Lydia as she leaped to catch a butterfly, and so it went. One day, a large toad appeared before them. I live on the other side of the island, but I can hear you shouting, It's mine, it's mine, it's mine, all day long. There's no peace because of your endless bickering. You can't go on like this. With that, the toad slowly turned around and hopped away through the weeds. No sooner had he left than Milton ran off with a large worm. The other hopped after him. Worms are for everybody, they cried. But Milton croaked defiantly, Now this one is mine. Suddenly, the sky darkened, and a rumble of distant thunder circled the island. Rain filled the air, and the water turned to mud. This island grew smaller and smaller, and it was swallowed up by the rising flood. The frogs were scared. Desperately, they clung pointed a few slippery stones that still rose above the wild, dark water. But soon they still began to disappear. There was only one rock left, and there the frogs huddled, trembling from cold and fright. But it felt better now that they were together, sharing the same fears and hopes. Little by little, the flood subsided. The rain fell gently and then stopped altogether. But look! The large rock that had saved them was no rock at all. You saved us, shouted the frogs when they recognized the toad. The next morning, the water had cleared. Sunrays chased silver minnows on the sandy bottom of the pond. Joyfully, the frogs joined in, and side by side, they swam all around the island. Together, they lived after the swarms of butterflies that filled the air. And later, when they rested in the weeds, they felt happy in a way they had never been before. Isn't it peacefully? Said Milton. And isn't it beautiful? Said Rupert. And do you know what else? Said Lydia. No. What? The other asked. It's ours, she said. The boy who drew cats. A long time ago, in a small village in Japan, lived a little boy. He was really clever and could be a good priest. When the boy left home and arrived at the temple, the priest said, "You could stay here, but you have to obey me in everything." "I'll try hard to obey and to learn," the boy answered, but he could not help drawing cats on his lesson. He drew big cats and small cats, fat cats and thin cats, and tall cats and short cats. The old priest yelled at him, "You shouldn't draw cats on the rice paper screen in the temple, especially when you should be studying." But the boy didn't stop drawing cats after hearing all these yells. "You could go home now, for you cannot obey me in everything. But I want to remind you that avoid large places, keep too small. Goodbye," the old priest said. Then the priest closed the door. The boy did not understand what the priest meant, but he was afraid to knock on the door to ask. The boy headed for another grand temple in the city. No one had told him that the grand temple had been closed and taken over by an evil goblin. It was dark when he arrived at the temple. He knocked on the temple door several times, but there was still no answer. So he pushed on the door and walked in calling, "Is anyone here?" No one answered him. But he thought that the priest would come by at last. The boy saw that there was a little room near the door, so he went in and sat down to wait. "This room is so dirty, but luckily I found some paper, pens, and ink. Now I can start drawing my lovely cat." He drew and drew until the paper screen in the temple was covered with cats. He wanted to sleep soon. Just then, the words ran through his mind. Avoid large places, keep too small. He found a tiny cupboard and climbed into it. He fell asleep fast. In the middle of the night, the boy heard a loud sound of fighting. He was so afraid that he just stayed inside. In the morning, the boy crawled out of the cupboard. What a surprise! The evil goblin was dead, lying on the temple floor. Who could have killed him? He said. Then he found that each candle he had drawn had a little circle of red around its mouth. "Oh, I got it!" A cat attacked and killed the goblin. I now understood what the priest meant when he said, "Avoid large places, keep too small." When the people of the city knew that the goblin had been defeated, they declared the boy a hero. But guess
The Boy Who Drew Cats. A long time ago, in a small village in Japan, there lived a boy. He was very clever and could be a good priest. When the boy left home and arrived at the temple, the priest said, "You could stay here, but you have to obey me in everything." "I'll try hard to obey and to learn," the boy answered. But he could not help drawing cats on his lessons. He drew big cats and small cats, fast cats and thin cats, and tall cats and short cats. The old priest yelled at him, "You shouldn't draw cats on the rice paper strings in the temple, especially when you should be studying." But the boy didn't stop drawing cats after hearing all these yells. "You could go home now, for you can obey me in everything. But I want to remind you that avoid large places, keep to small." "Goodbye," the old priest said. Then the priest closed the door. The boy did not understand what the priest meant, but he was afraid to knock on the door to ask. The boy headed for another grand temple in the city. Nobody had told him that the grand temple has been closed and taken over by an evil goblin. It was dark when he arrived at the temple. He knocked on the temple door several times, but there was still no answer. So he pushed on the door and walked in calling, "Is anyone here?" No one answered him, but he thought that a priest would come by at last. The boy saw that there was a little room near the door, so he went in and sat down to wait. "This room is so dirty, but luckily I found some paper, pens, and ink. Now I can start drawing my lovely cat." He drew and drew until the paper strips in the temple were covered with cats. He wanted to sleep soon. Just then, the word ran through his mind, "Avoid large places, keep to small." And he found a tiny cupboard and climbed into it. He fell asleep fast. In the middle of the night, the boy heard the loud sound of fighting. He was so afraid that he should stay inside. In the morning, the boy crawled out the cupboard. What a surprise! The evil goblin was dead, lying on the temple floor. "Who could have killed him?" he said. Then he found that each cat that he had drawn had a little circle of red around his mouth. "Oh, I got it! My cat had the ticks and killed the goblin." And he now understood what the priest meant when he said, "Avoid large places, keep to small." When the people of the city knew that the goblin had been defeated, they declared a boy a hero. But guess what? The boy did not become a priest. He became an artist instead, and his paintings of cats were famous in Japan. My topic is Harry the Dirty Dog. Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything except getting the bath. So one day, when he heard the water running in the tub, he took a scrubbing brush and buried it in the backyard. Then he ran away from home. He played where they were fish in the street and got very dirty. He played at a railroad and got even dirtier. He played tag with other dogs and became dirtier still. He slid down a cold shoe and got dirtier overall. In fact, he turned from a white dog with black spots to a black dog with white spots. Then he felt tired and hungry too. So without stopping on the way, he ran back home. Harry got to his house. One of the family looked out and said, "There's a stray dog in the backyard. By the way, has anyone seen Harry?" When Harry heard this, he tried very hard to show them he was Harry. He started to do all his own clever tricks. He rolled over and played a dad. He danced and he sang. He did this trick over and over again. But everyone shook their hands and said, "Oh no, it couldn't be Harry." Soon he jumped away from home, barking short, happy bark. He found a scrubbing brush and carrying in his mouth. He ran into the house. Helpless there he dashed, with the family following close behind. He jumped into a bathtub and stood out begging, with the scrubbing brush in his mouth. "This little doggy wants a bath," cried the little girl. And her father said, "Why don't you and your brother give him one?" Harry's bath was the prettiest one he ever had. It worked like magic. As soon as the children started to scrub, they began shouting, "Mommy, Daddy, look, come quick, it's Harry, it's Harry," they cried. Harry wagged his tail and was very, very happy. The family combed and brushed him lovingly, and he began once again, a white dog with black spots. It was wonderful to be home.